All right. So now when we move on to welcome back, guys, on the pod. So
Listen,
matchup,
guys.
matchup comparison. All right, let's take a look at this real quick. Let me widen that out. There we go. Perfect. So Texans offense versus the Packers defense. Their overall passing efficiency is number 8. Our overall passing efficiency in defending the pass, I should say, is not. So they're saying no advantage. So when it comes to their passing game against our pass defense, they feel like it's a push. Both of which are top 10 in that category, which is wild to think about. Overall rushing efficiency, the Texans offense are 28th in rushing efficiency. The Packers defense at stopping the run is 8th in the league. So we get a 4-star advantage there when it comes to stopping the run. That makes me feel a lot better about going out and trying to stop Joe Mixon tomorrow. We were talking about that's probably going to be one of the keys to their game with Nico Collins being out. Now, I know they still got Tank Dell. I know they still got our boy used to play in Minnesota, Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
So, again, the running game was kind of what made me go, man, all right, we got to really stop that run. They're showing we got a huge advantage there. Does that surprise you, Tim?
A little bit, considering how we've played against the run historically, and I mean even throughout this year we've had our struggles. But you can't, like you said, you can't count out guys like Diggs. I mentioned Dalton Schultz earlier as well at the tight end position, another target that especially in those possession type situations, the 3rd and 5s kind of scenario. CJ Stroud loves to throw the ball to him. So this could be a game where, maybe we do look good against the run. We got to be on our P's and Q's in that pass defense because there's multiple ways for them to attack. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. Braden Fielding in the chat. Good to see you in here, buddy. He says their interior D-line is shaking. Plus, with them missing a couple starting linebackers, I like our chances to run the ball. Praying emoji. I like how you ended it with the praying emoji, right?
But that's a great point too, though. Interior D-line is a bit shaky, right? But they've got some monsters on the edges,
Yeah. Yeah, Will Anderson, and I think it's Daniil Hunter that's on the outside. So they got a pretty good pass rush. At least they have been in the past. We'll kind of dive into here in a minute what the passing game looks like for the Packers. But
I'm with Braden, though, right? A-gap run, B-gap run. Let's try it.
Especially after we just showed that film breakdown of Josh Jacobs. You really like your chances tomorrow for sure. Just got to come out and establish a run early. Can't be having the center puking on the ball either. We don't need none of that. It's going to be a little bit warmer tomorrow. So definitely got to keep that in check. All right, so pressure rate when it comes to the Texans offense against pressure, 25th in the league. The Packers defense, 19th. All right, so they give a 1-star advantage to the Packers. So when it comes to the Texans offense versus the Packers defense, no advantage in the passing game, right? The overall rushing efficiency leans heavily towards the Packers defense being favored. And then when applying pressure and a quarterback under pressure, all that good stuff, the Packers have a slight advantage. So you like the way that looks for sure. Now, obviously, they're probably better well known as a defensive team. So when we go to the Packers offensive side, Packers overall passing efficiency is 10th in the league. The Texans defense is 4th. All right, so that's a 2-star advantage for the Texans. That right there alone got me wanting to press into the running game a little bit more, right, Tim? When you talk about how effective can you be with the run? Overall rushing efficiency, the Packers are 7th in the league. The Texans are 20th. So everything's kind of pointing towards lean on that run like we're talking. And as far as pressure rate, Packers offense against pressure rate, 15th. The Texans defense is 1st in the league. So that's a 4-star advantage there. So when you take all 6 of those, both with each team's offense and respective defenses, what you end up with is 1 push, 3 for the Packers, and 2 for the Texans. It could be a hell of a game, and I think it's going to be a real close game coming down the wire tomorrow. Anything you want to add to that, what we just covered there?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, you talk about rushing efficiency, right? Like, we talk about Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson being kind of the, the 1-2 punch right now since Dylan, is out for the year or whatever. But and then like you said, leaning on the run versus going run heavy, right? This doesn't have to be a run heavy approach like we did for a couple of weeks when we had Malik Willis, filling in the void while J Money was getting better. But you definitely need to lean on your run, and you have to establish it, and you've got to be efficient. And I think if you get a guy like Jacobs going, and then, you bring Emmanuel Wilson in to give him a breather here and there, and then maybe you run, a couple pass plays, that kind of thing, keep your offense balanced. That's going to be your best formula for success. I think if we lean too much into the run, or we're too pass heavy, we could get a little stagnant on offense. And against, a DeMeco Ryans coach defense, man, you can't do that. So hopefully we, like you said, lean on the run, but, we don't have to be run heavy, I don't think, in this game. We just have to establish it and be efficient.
Yeah, love it. All right, let's go to matchup insights. This is one of my favorite things to cover every week. All right, so here's what you got. Joe Mixon versus the Packers defense. Joe Mixon ran for 102 yards and a touchdown on just 13 carries in his return to the lineup in Week 6, recording 77 of his rushing yards before contact. Mixon has now averaged, 2.2 yards before contact per carry this year, third most among running backs with at least 40 carries. Matchup. After contacting opposing rushers before the line of scrimmage on 46.5% of carries through the first 4 weeks of the season, sixth highest in the NFL, the Packers defense has lowered that rate to just 27.5% over the last 2 weeks. So you're seeing them, and they damn near cut that in half, Tim. So the Packers run defense is playing much better as of late, but Joe Mixon returned there in Week 6 and looked pretty dominant. So we've got to keep an eye on that. Next, Rashawn Gary versus Titus Howard. All right, Rashawn Gary has generated 16 pressures on 153 pass rushes this season, generating a career-low 10.5% pressure rate. Gary has particularly struggled with his first step, recording an average get-off of 0.93 seconds, his slowest of his career and his 16th slowest among edge defenders with at least 75 pass rushes this season. Gary has aligned as the Packers' left edge rusher on 83.3% of the snaps this season, the highest rate on the team. Matchup. The Texans' starting right tackle, Titus Howard, returned to the lineup in Week 6, allowing a season-low 2 pressures on 35 pass blocks. Howard has now allowed a 9.6% pressure rate this season, 24th among 38 right tackles with at least 75 pass blocking snaps this season. So, again, we've kind of broken this down over and over and over, talking about the specific pass rush that you're watching on different individual plays. We'll see if they pin their ears back and go after the quarterback tomorrow or not, but C.J. Stroud's a good scrambler as well, and you definitely want to protect those rush lanes there against Joe Mixon, no doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as much as we just talked about us having to establish the run and lean on the run, the Texans are going to have to, you got to think they're going to do the same thing with Mixon, right? And then try to get their offense going off the run game and then free up guys like Diggs in the pass game. So, this is the stars are aligning because, like you said, like we've been playing better against the run the past 2 to 3 weeks as a whole, as a defense. So hopefully we're primed up for tomorrow's matchup because Joe Mixon's like, that dude's the real deal. You cannot sleep on a guy like that at all.
Yeah. Godsmack AR69 with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Said, whoever's calling the game, I can't take another Sunday suffering through Daryl Johnston. Please take him off the air. Have mercy. This is why I hate noon games. A bunch of Rena commentators.
We're going to give him some.
Thank you for the super chat, Godsmack. I like what Harry Cheese says. That's why I mute/turn down the game and put on a stream.
Well, Johnston is on Fox, right? So we're spared from that for tomorrow.
And I think Moose Johnston's a great guy. I think he was a hell of a fullback. But yeah, when he calls the game, it is kind of tough. But like Harry Cheese says, that's why I turn down the game. What I used to do, Tim, back in the day when I had like the original Dolby 5.1 surround sound, right?
Yes.
The announcers always come through the center speaker, right?
Yep.
So I would unplug that center speaker and have all the stadium noise and surround sound. It felt like you were sitting there at the game. And I crank up Wayne Larrivee. The problem I have with Wayne Larrivee is you can't. It's real hard to sync it up with the game.
See, it didn't used to be like that. See, before we went digital, you could do that. You could turn on the Packers radio network in the background and just turn your TV sound down. It would be pretty much in sync. But I don't know what that was 15 years ago or so or something like that. They went digital and we got the delay and forget it now, right? unless we can find a way to hack the in-game feed from the Packers. I don't think we're going to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, definitely. So there you go. And again, the announcers, in case you didn't know, Godsmack, if you just stepped in here, it's going to be Jim Nance and Tony Romo. So, but thank you for the super chat, bud. Appreciate you. All right, back to the insights here. C.J. Stroud has targeted an outside receiver on 43.3% of his pass attempts this season, fourth highest rate in the NFL, completing 58 of his 90 such attempts for a league-high 817 yards. It said Stroud has also generated plus 31.5 EPA when targeting outside receivers this season, third most in the NFL. Tank Dell was aligned as an outside receiver on 75.1% of his snaps this season, second on the team behind only the injured Nico Collins, who still leads the NFL with 535 receiving yards from a wide alignment, 167 more than the next closest receiver. Dell has recorded just 139 yards from an out wide alignment this season, but had 608 in 2023 before getting hurt in week 12, 11th in the NFL over that span. So C.J. Stroud really likes to attack outside the numbers. He's got the arm talent to do it. So definitely keep your eye on that when you if you want to go back and watch the tape too and kind of see where he's targeting those guys outside. You know, last week or the week before last, we showed you how the Rams were really targeting those digs, and it's obvious we took those away fairly easy. Now, those outside routes, you got to be careful because if you overcompensate and you leave the middle of the field open, Stroud can cut you up there too. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what defense they play. You might see a little more Mabel this week where you're going to have three levels along the sideline of defenders if you're in zone. Probably going to see a fair share of man coverage. We're seeing that trending up now that these guys are getting a grab of the defense. Obviously, the last 2 weeks, I think man coverage, cover one specifically, has increased every week. So,
and of course, a little sprinkle of Tampa 2 in there as well, right?
I love Tampa 2, man. I think it's awesome. I really do.
Sure.
You know, they were talking about missing linebackers, and it's true, right? You got Al-Shaair and you've got Tuo. That's how you say his name. Those two guys are definitely going to be missing the game. They're listed as out. You've also got Jimmy Ward, the safety, out. Wide receiver Robert Woods, we talked about, he's out. And Kamari Lassiter with the shoulder is out. I mean, we're definitely healthier than they are, Tim. Would you agree with that? I mean, we're hands down healthier. Yeah.
And then, you know, like going back on what we were talking about earlier with, you know, maybe exploiting that interior D line, you know, inside run, maybe inside zone tomorrow a little bit. I mean, look, they're down linebackers too. So, I mean, you talk about middle of the D line and then middle of the field. If there was a time to just pound the rock, it may be tomorrow against the Texans, and just see if we can do it on the ground to free up things in the passing game for sure. But yeah, it does look like, you know, overall these injury reports are, you know, a couple pages long for each team for sure, but we certainly look to be on the upswing while the Texans are they are banged up significantly more than we are at this point, I think. Yeah,
I would agree with that. All right. So their passing leader obviously is C.J. Stroud. He is 142 of 208 for 1,577 yards. He's got 10 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions with a rating of 98.6. His yards per attempt is 7.6. To compare that to Jordan Love's slightly better at a 7.7. His completion percentage, however, significantly better than Jordan's, actually 10 points higher, roughly a little less than 10 points higher at 68.3%. So he definitely showing that accuracy that we've seen last year. Obviously, Jordan Love has missed 2 games, so when it comes to overall yardage, his 1,131, you'd probably be well past C.J. Stroud if he hadn't missed those 2 games, he being Jordan Love. 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So you got to clean up the picks. Obviously, you protect the football like Matt LaFleur says. It's all about the ball. You win the ball, you win the game. There's no two ways about it. Joe Mixon now in the season has 52 carries for 286 yards. He's averaging 5.5 yards per carry. So that's definitely something to keep your eye on there. Cam Akers. Didn't Cam Akers get hurt? Am I thinking right, Tim? Did he?
Yeah, I thought we talked about that last week, right?
Or did they trade for him? They traded for him, didn't they? Is that what it was? Something happened. Something happened with Cam Akers. I'm pretty sure he's not on an injury report, though, right? Yeah, no, he's healthy. He's healthy. Okay. Unless he's on IR. I was thinking that maybe they traded for Cam Akers. I think that's what happened. Let me just Google it real quick so I can let y'all know either way. Cam Akers trade. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they traded for him.
Yeah, Vikings.
So they did. They traded him to the Vikings. That's right. I knew I heard that. So with Aaron Jones' injury, they went out and got Cam Akers. So Cam Akers is no longer on the team. Not that he was playing great or anything. I mean, Dameon Pierce obviously averaging 8.4 yards a carry, but just something worth mentioning there.
Something for us to watch here in the NFC North, right? They're putting a Band-Aid on that running back situation there with AJ 33 out of the lineup at least for the foreseeable future. So we got it. Cam Akers, like you said, like not a stud, not a top tier, but certainly not bottom of the barrel. A guy you got to account for in the run game for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, receiving. Nico Collins obviously is going to be out of the game. He's their leading receiver. Stephon Diggs has been targeted 48 times. He has 37 catches for 392 yards and 3 touchdowns. His catch percentage is 77.1% at 151 yak yards there.
That's crazy numbers right there. I mean, read that again.
Yeah.
48 targets, 37 receptions.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's a human vacuum cleaner. So we got to account for him for sure.
He's got 3 touchdowns too. Let's do this. Let's take a quick gander here and watch these touchdowns. You want 210? Is that all right with you?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go. Let's go end zone cam here, and we'll just do this on the fly, and we'll keep it in zone cam, and let's see exactly what happens. All right, so Stroud back to pass, just a 4-man rush slant, just a quick slant. That's like taking Mountain Dew from a baby right there. All right, next one, a 2-yard touchdown.
Okay, I remember this one.
Yeah. It's against the Patriots, right?
Yeah, this is last week.
A little play action, look like a little RPO looking.
And another slant, right? Or was that a post?
Yeah. You're seeing the trend here. You're seeing the trend. So when they get inside the red zone, look for Stephon Diggs on those slants, no doubt about it. All right, let's see. Is this the same play?
It looks like it.
Yeah, it's the same play. Okay. All right, so we already got him. All right. Cool, bang. Yeah, we got the 9-yarder too. Sometimes it gets hung up. You got to be aware of it. Did we see the 2-yard or we did not see the 2-yarder, did we?
No, this is a different one here.
All right. So here we are again inside the 5, sprint left option, little out route.
Wow.
So you've seen 2 slants and an out. When they get inside the 20, he's looking for Stephon Diggs. There's no 2 ways about that, Tim.
Yeah.
No 2 ways about it.
Absolutely. And maybe that's the situation where you do go man up with Jair. We talk about year 1 following a 1 or whatever. Maybe situationally you get backed up in the red zone. Maybe that's the time to call a man set and let Ja run around with Stephon Diggs. We already know the history between those 2 guys,
Definitely. All right. So obviously the teams that they have played their last 5 games, typically you'll look at the last 4 game saturation. Let's just go through it though. Obviously week 2, it isn't showing the entire schedule. So we'll just go last 5 games. Week 2 against the Bears, they beat them 19-13. Week 3 against the Vikings, they lost 34-7. So the fact that we lost to the Vikings by 2 points and they got boat raced 34-7 really makes you think we're well equipped to beat the Texans. We got everything it takes. Against the Jaguars, they barely squeaked by 24-20. Same thing with the Bills, 23-20. Bills a much better team than the Jaguars, I promise you that. And then the Patriots, of course, they beat them pretty handily, 41-21, which Patriots are just in shambles right now. All right. So we talked receivers, all that good stuff. Let's go to defense. Let's kind of look at some of their defensive leaders here real quick. Let's see. We got a tackle. All right, here we go. So, yeah, obviously Henry 2020 is out. He's their leading tackler. Shire's their second leading tackler. So Al-Shire is out as well. I mean, they're really, really thin at the linebacker position. Now, if there's any coach that can get a young group together, it's D'Amico Ryans having his history with the league. Next would be Jalen Petrie as far as tackles go. As far as sacks, Will Anderson's up to 5.5 sacks. That is wild, Tim.
How do you think them being short in the linebacker room there? Do you think that's going to affect the game plan for LaFleur tomorrow?
I think
they've known this for a few days, right? Like we knew these guys were going to be out.
Have plenty of time to game plan for it.
Install,
Yeah, I think that the way that you combat that is running the football, man. Maybe you get away from the stretch plays because you do have Will Anderson on the outside, which is just a great young defender. Same thing with Daniil Hunter. You look at their stops. Will Anderson, he's got 5.5 sacks, but look at the stops, 17 run stops. Same thing with Daniil Hunter, 11. Those guys are fairly solid there on the outside. I would say, to answer your question, I'd be looking to test with inside run and duo and then play action, that mid-level. Try to get them to jump that play action and attack with digs across the middle, maybe some shallow crosses, that type of thing. There you go, Coach Lynn.
Coach Lynn, right on the money. Attack the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Tuck Norris is going to have a day.
There you go. Remember the play we showed earlier today, the 66-yarder from Jordan Love to Tucker. That was a little shallow cross. It was almost like a mid-climb route. Got right behind the backers off play action. I could see that happening again. So I want to check your fantasy rosters there and throw old Tuck Norris in. Might be a good day to do that. So
yeah. What are you waiting for?
Something amazing. All right. Will Anderson, let's look at his sacks real quick. All right with you, man?
Yes, sir.
Let's kind of see what this dude's doing off the edge. Pause it. We're going to go with the end zone cam. Definitely the best one to look at the sacks with. So this play here, does it show us? It does. Okay, there it is. So 3rd and 1 right here. And they're at Houston. This is Chicago at Houston's 41-yard line. Let's roll the tape. Will Anderson. I think he's over here. I believe that's Will right there. They move him around quite a bit too. Let's see where Will comes from. Now, other side. Woo! Boy, that was quick, Tim. So watch him here at right end. He's on the left side. He's over the left tackle. That's a wide 9.
Wide 9, yeah.
Look at this. Let's see what kind of move he throws on him.
Oh, and look.
And looky there.
A move. Nobody blocked him.
Look at my man's arms out, looking like the Undertaker. Look at that zombie.
Go back pre-snap. You got to love this Bears O-line, right? You got 2 guys in wide 9s, and watch 70.
Yeah.
He's doubling down on the what is that, a 3 tech?
Yeah. That's and they were expecting the tight end to come over and chip. Yeah. And they were wanting the ball to come out quick. Here's the problem. The tight end didn't chip and the ball didn't come out quick. He about killed poor Caleb Williams. All right, so that was the first sack. I think Rasheed Walker will be able to get a hand on him. All right, I'm not worried about that one. Let's go on to this Vikings one here. All right, so Will Anderson, I imagine he's 52. So, again, another wide 9. Little inside. Oh, there's a little stunt. See it, Tim?
Yeah.
Oh, he was off the other side. All right. So they do move him around a lot. That's what we're noticing. This play here, he's at left end or over the right tackle. He's in a wide 9, number 51. All right. And that's just power outside. Yeah. So you just use
not a bad job by the right tackle there.
No. That ball's got to come out, man. You know those boys are going to eat. Like when you count this off, let's count it off from the snap. Ready? 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Yeah, you got to get that ball
out.
So that's
got to get it out, or you got to get out. One of the two.
Yeah, with your life, hopefully. That was definitely a coverage sack there. So wasn't a crazy pass rush there by no means. All right, so again we're looking for 51. Look how far out he is here.
Wide 9 again.
That's a wide 12. Look at that. If there ever was one. This poor Patriots tackle. Look, he got his knees together. Like, oh crap. Here we go. Let's see what happens. What kind of move we got? Again, it's just pressure and rip, isn't it? It's speed and pressure outside, rip move, and just getting to the quarterback. That one was a little quicker there. Let's count this one off here. We ain't got no stopwatch. We do it the redneck way. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, almost 4.
You got to figure Zach Tom will fare a little better against that tomorrow.
Absolutely. All right, so here's Drake May again getting sacked, looking for 51. Now he's back over to the right side, so he's over the left tackle. This poor guy right here is going, crap. Look at that head looking at him.
Wide 9 again. Is that all they do is line this guy up? Wide 9?
Tell you, wide 9 is where it's at. Oh, look at this. So he started outside, bull rushing, just a little, almost like a little baby swim move there. Now that seemed a lot quicker.
Gotta love when you're getting held and then you still sack the quarterback. You see that at the end.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3. See, that was right at 3 seconds. So that's a little better there. All right. And then the final one, this one's going to lose 10 yards. He must have sprinted straight backwards. Where's 51 at? You see him?
Left side.
I don't think that's him. This is him right here probably. Is he standing up on this play?
I think
so. He's over the see, they're chipping him now. See it? Tight end link to chip him. Yep. Comes through, rip. That's a long time, though, man. They must have decent coverage in these games, man, because they got forever. Let's do it again. Let's count it here. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Nah, that's 4. Jordan going to get that ball out.
Yeah. I mean, this is, like you said, we're looking at the Patriots here. That's a rookie quarterback. Probably could have changed the protection.
Yeah. That's a rookie everything over there, man. That establishment is, how the mighty have fallen. All right. So there you go. We kind of hit all that. We hit on some of the matchup insights. We got some performance trends. Here's one from Jordan Love. Jordan Love has thrown at least 2 touchdowns and 1 interception in each of the 4 games he has played in this season. So, as Brett Favre used to say, Tim, as long as I'm throwing more touchdowns and interceptions, they'll let me keep playing. So
That's right. That's right. He also said,
"You think God never farted?"
All right. Key advantages. We're doing good on time. We're good to go. Key advantages, rushing inside the tackles. The Texans offense, 32nd in the league. Keep in mind, guys, Joe Mixon just came back too, so they were playing with a backup running back, which was Cam Akers, who obviously is now with the Vikings. So I think that probably skewed these numbers a little bit too. You can't overlook it. Nonetheless, they've got our defense as number 9 inside the tackles as far as stopping the run there. 5-star advantage goes to the Packers. Rushing in the red zone, Texans offense is 29th. And you see now why they're going to that lookie, that alert, that slant inside the 20, inside the 10, inside the 5. But nonetheless, rushing in the red zone, the Packers defense is 8th, and that's a 5-star advantage. Rushing under center, so when you're not in shotgun, right, they're 28th when they're not in the gun, and they're under center running the ball. Against teams doing that, the Packers rush defense is 2nd in the league, 4-star advantage. Deep passing game, the Texans offense is 19th in the league, the Packers defense 3rd in the league, really controlling those explosive plays, no doubt. 4-star. Let's see, quick passing. This is where they're good, Tim. C.J. Stroud in this Texans offense, quick passing game, 3rd best in the league. Packers defense is 17th best when facing quick passing attacks. So 4-star advantage to the Texans there. So when you're talking Texans offense, Packers defense, Packers have 4 advantages to the Texans only 1. All right, so Packers offense, quarterback scrambles, 7th best in the league. Packers offense is. The Texans defense sucks, absolutely sucks at facing scrambling quarterbacks, right? 5-star advantage of the Packers. Passing versus the blitz, however, the Packers have struggled. They're 30th in the league. The Texans defense is 7th best when providing that blitz we're talking about. 5-star advantage to the Texans.
This is what we talked about. Keep Jordan clean. Give him a clean pocket and let him cook.
Now look at this. Running the ball out of shotgun. All right. Running the ball out of shotgun. The Packers are 3rd best in the league. The Texans defense are 21st at stopping it. So
I'm assuming the top 2 is Kansas City and Baltimore, probably.
I would imagine so. Pressure rate. Packers offense 15th best. Texans defense 1st in the league. So 4-star advantage there for the Texans. Intermediate passing. The Packers are 25th. The Texans defense are 8th at stopping it. 4-star advantage for the Texans. So they've got 3 of the 5 key advantages there when we're talking about those specific categories. So
that means run the ball and then take deep shots all day, right?
Run the ball out of shotgun, maybe a little bit out of pistol, but don't be afraid to use that sidecar. Let them make the mistakes and grind this thing out, man. I think it's going to be a close one all the way down to the wire. There's no 2 ways about it, man. Let's see here. Prince in the chat bringing some information. Fullback Beck was elevated from the practice squad for the 3rd week in a row. He is now maxed out on eligibility. We are new tight end. Better be ready for next week. There you go. Now, here's the thing, too, Prince. Now he has to clear waivers, right? When you basically, if you don't keep him on the active roster, you got to cut him so you can clear waivers, and then you can put him back on the practice squad, right? Am I thinking right there?
I believe so.
I think that's how that works. You're protected with 3 elevations where people can't sign them to the practice squad. Now other teams will have an opportunity to sign them to their practice squad. I think you go to the back of the waiver wire, maybe. I could be confused on that. So just keep an eye on that. But, yeah, he graded out pretty well last week, if you'll remember, Tim. Fullback Anthony. Is it Anthony Beck? Am I thinking right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. He's only been here for a cup of coffee, but my man graded out pretty well. According to PFF.
He had a few snaps, right?
Yep, for sure. All right, so there you go with that. Key advantage is passing. If we were to dig a little deeper into the passing game, you know what? Rather than doing this, Tim, why don't we change it up and let's go to the PFF preview? I wanted to get to this, and we may hit on it a little bit more tomorrow during the pregame show as well. But I definitely wanted to hit on this because we haven't got a chance to look at it too close, and we got about 9 minutes. I think we can go rapid fire here and knock this out. So let's go lineups. So take this out a little bit. All right, we're going to go full screen. Maybe that'll help just a touch. And so let's start with the Packers offense against their nickel defense. Now, keep in mind, our boy 2020, Watois, Toto, whatever the hell his name is, Tim, 61.9, but he's going to be out tomorrow. All right, so you're without that cat there. They must not have updated their system yet. The big thing that sticks out to me, though, those edge rushers, man, they might have the best edge rushing tandem in the entire NFL. Danielle Hunter, 82.5 off the edge. On the opposite side, Will Anderson Jr. at an 80.7. Now, in the middle, this is what we were talking about, right? Fatukasi, was he healthy, Tim? Wasn't he injured? Am I thinking right? Let me go to the injury.
Well, I'll tell you, Fatukasi was all over the game film last week against the Patriots.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was one that I had circled. Now, again, that's New England's O-line, not our O-line, but he looked like an absolute dog against the Patriots last week. So regardless of the PFF rating, that's another one. 91 is another one you got to keep an eye on. 91, 51, and 55 up front there.
Got it. And he is listed as questionable right now, so they may be going even deeper.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Exactly. Now, Hewitt here at linebacker, let's take a quick gander at him. Has he got limited snaps this year or something? Is that what it is? So he's only played in 2 games, basically. He had 1 snap in week 4, and then in week 6 he had to step in. But, man, he graded out really, really well. So he had 26 passing snaps, 13 rushing snaps, and he graded out an 82. If I'm looking at this correctly, it's not showing his individual game.
Definitely a dude to watch, though, right? Veteran player.
Right.
Guy that may be past his prime, but someone that's going to definitely step up when they're thin at linebacker.
He's been in the league for almost 10 years, so he's been around the game. I'm sure he understands the system for sure.
Yep.
So that's the big thing. If you were to label Tuesday players, for me it would be Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, no doubt about it. Now their corners are playing really, really well too. Ross probably limited snaps, I would imagine. So he just played in week 6. Looked like he played pretty much every snap, but grading out a 71.9 this year. And then on the opposite side, though, you got Stingley Jr. He's the 19th highest graded cornerback in the league right now. Got a coverage grade of 75.8, overall defensive grade of 74.4. So their corners playing pretty good ball. Their strong safety, Eric Murray, playing decent, 65, and he's pretty much played in every game this year. So D'Amico's got this defense playing pretty good, man, no matter who's out there. So you really got to respect him.
That's a great matchup, though. You're right. Stingley Jr. and Scoot over there, one-on-one.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is I don't think they'll play a whole lot of man coverage where these corners follow. So you can kind of pick your spot if you're Matt LaFleur, mix and match. Who do you want to play F? Who do you want to play slot, Z? Move everybody around. How involved do you want to get the tight ends? All those things. So, but Jaden Reed against their slot corner Petrie, you kind of like that, 77.7. And one thing about it, man, if you want to open up the middle of the field like Coach Lynn was talking about too, stretch the field a couple of times with Watson on some deep shots and watch them really, really start to adjust that defense to where they can't put that extra body in an underneath zone or in a hole spot or a rob or something like that. So now as far as those 2 edge rushers we talked about, it's going to be we showed you Will Anderson hopping around both from side to side. So you really like whoever's going to line up over Zach Tom, you feel comfortable that he can handle the job, right? We were showing you these guys hitting home in over 4 seconds, and that's not a great time to get to the quarterback. I think Zach Tom will be just fine. Rasheed Walker worries me just a touch, grading out a 63.8. His pass blocking's been great, don't get me wrong, 80.8. The thing I'm worried about, Tim, whether it's Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson is lined up over him, he's going to get grabby. Hopefully he'll keep that in check tomorrow, right? With the penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our O-line has got to be disciplined. They have to play disciplined football, and they can't I mean, you're going to get called for the occasional hold, whatever. And, when it comes to protecting Jay Love, I'll take a holding penalty all day over our quarterback getting, annihilated in the pocket. But they got to be on their P's and Q's. And I think the run game will do us a big service in making things easier in pass pro for our O-line going against those big edge guys. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think? Like, we talked about running inside, A gap, B gap, maybe inside zone. What do you think about like a counter run or, mixing an outside zone on occasion, but like, how would you combat that? Because clearly the strength is, the right and left side of their D line.
Yeah, I think what you're going to want to do is try to steal a half a hat or a half a gap. And you can do that a number of different ways. I think the pre-snap motion is going to be crucial, but here's the thing. Basically, D'Amico Ryans, his defense comes from the same exact tree as Jeff Hafley's, right? Well, the OC, I can't remember his OC's name, but I heard Michael Lombardi talking about it the other day. A couple other people were talking about it as well. It's cut from the same Shanahan tree. So what you've got here, Tim, is two teams that their offense and defense is going to be very, very similar to each other. So, the way that you kind of gain an advantage is you're trying to steal a gap. You're trying to steal a half a hat. So I think you're going to do that with pre-snap motion. There's no two ways about it. You got to be able to maximize. I mean, we've seen it last week where Jaden Reed from the wing position sifted over and blocked the defensive end. Remember that on Chalk Talk? We went, what the hell was that? I mean, that's LaFleur in his bag right there. I don't like it. I don't want to see it again. Just poor Jaden Reed. But it's crazy he stuck the dude, didn't he? He held up. So, so I think you might be able to get in a little duo. We haven't seen Sif blocking that much. That was so surprising with Jaden Reed. Last year, early in the year, you guys know I was standing on my soapbox screaming at the top of my lungs, stop the sift, stop the sift. Like, this is ridiculous. They can't do it. It's not working. You're not fooling anyone. You haven't seen it much so far this year, Tim. The second half of the year last year, first 4 or 5 games, we were over-sifting, and the running backs were getting blown up the backfield. We changed it up, got away from the sift, that about the midpoint of the season, and then on the backside of that season, we came back to the sift, right? Because these guys are watching these 4-game saturations of footage, right? So they're going back and seeing, okay, there's a sift. And then all of a sudden, you prepare for the sift, and we don't sift. Some people call it slice. Some people call it split flow. Some people call it split zone. You can call it whatever you want, Dumbo. I don't care. But it's what we're talking about is the tight end, right, blocking over. As soon as the ball is snapped, he'll come across the formation and pick up the end coming off the edge. And what that does is it creates the illusion that you're blocking left and everyone else is going zone right. So it allows the left tackle to be able to double down on the guy's assignment with the left guard. And you do that by the tight end blocking over. So essentially what you end up doing is the tight end is showing almost like a power run, like, okay, he's lead blocking to that side. That might trigger a linebacker to bite in that direction. But the rest of the offensive line is blocking away from it with a zone blocking scheme. So that's why I've always heard it called split zone, because it looks like, okay, you're going to allow this defensive end to come in unblocked. The tight end, bang, hits him. Everybody's blocking right. You've now stolen a half a gap or increased your hat count in the running game by a half a hat. And that's where it's just cut back city, do your thing, Josh Jacobs. So I think that might be the best way to approach it, to attack the middle of the field. I don't like the stretch this week. You know what I'm saying? The outside zone.
Yeah.
Because we showed you the stop numbers. Not only is Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson playing, rushing the quarterback pretty well, but according to the stats, their run defense has been pretty solid too. I mean, yeah, like a 60.9 for a wide 9. That's pretty solid run defensive grade there. Their job is to get after the quarterback. The fact that isn't in the 40s or 50s really says a lot. If we go back to Will Anderson, let's see. Yeah, look at his run defense grade, Tim. 77.5, man.
Yeah. So these guys are not just pass rushers.
Yeah. I'm saying inside zone, duo, split flow, that type of thing, and then run your normal traditional play action drop back and get those backers to bot, attack the middle of the field. You got to protect the damn football, though. It's the only way you're going to win this game. Got to protect the football. So,
yep.
All right, man. I think that was a pretty good deep dive there into the offensive side and their defense. Let's just take one quick look, all right, at our defense against their offense, their 11 personnel. We'll stick with that.
Look at that. Xavier McKinney back there with that 90.5.
And we ain't even got Evan Williams on the field. He's higher than Xavier McKinney, right?
That's right.
So when you look at their offense, if you were to say, okay, where are the Tuesday players? Obviously, C.J. Stroud, 6th highest graded quarterback in the league. Joe Mixon's the 31st highest graded running back. Again, he returned last week. Tank Dell could be an issue, but this is your main focus right here, Tim. Stephon Diggs, right? Yeah. Stop the running game first and foremost and try to – what I would do is look at Stephon Diggs' tape and go, okay, what routes do they have him running the most? You know, when they like to run slot cross, when they like to run dagger or wolf or cab or levels, whatever the concept is, what is his number one route in all of those categories? So what you'll do is you'll watch the tape and go, okay, let's chart this game. Let's chart their last 4 games. I want to know every passing concept they ran over the last 4 games. All right, got it. Now, within those passing concepts, which 3 did they run the most? Okay, bingo. Let's key in on stopping. Let's set together a defensive game plan to stop those 3 route combinations or passing concepts. And then the next step to peel another layer back is, all right, what route is Stephon Diggs running within his responsibilities of those 3 specific passing concepts? And then you put yourself in a position to shut that down. Now what you're doing, if you take the run away and you take Stephon Diggs away, you're now forcing the offense to play left-handed. They're going to have to go to Tank Dell. They're going to have to go to Hutchinson. They're going to have to go to Dalton Schultz, right? That should be kind of the game plan there. So for me, it's Diggs, Stroud, and Mixon. That's who you got to watch for.
I agree. And as far as how they utilize Diggs, I mean, from what I saw on the Patriots tape last week, a lot of him in motion is very vanilla. You don't see him in a lot of that boomerang or orbit or zipper motion or anything like that. He may get motioned or flexed to another side or something like that. So nothing super complex, but guy's dynamic in the slot or on the boundary. So you're absolutely right. We got to focus on him.
Yeah, definitely. And when you look at where he's lined up by position as far as snaps goes, pretty even across the board, man. He's lined up out wide 167 snaps. He's lined up in the slot 166. Now, they may have to use him more outside now that Nico Collins is gone, right? I don't know. I haven't dove enough into his tape or anything to kind of know where he lines up predominantly, but they're going to move Stephon Diggs around. Like you said, I don't think it's with any kind of crazy cheat motion. It's just more or less put him in the spot where you want him, and you do that with a little bit of motion. So,
absolutely.
All right. I think we've covered it pretty well, man. We covered a lot of information here. This flew by tonight. Heck yeah.
Yeesh.
All right. So what we're going to do, gang, tomorrow, well, let's clean up the chat here real quick. Let's see. 2-0 for this. Is that the ghost of Jay Cutler hanging up behind Tim? There you go. I don't know if you guys seen, but Smoking Jay Cutler got arrested for the old DUI this past week. So,
yeah.
Moment of silence for Jay Cutler.
That's not Jay Cutler, man. He doesn't have a daddy soda and a pistola. So, you know.
Exactly. 2-0 for this says Jair was fined $11,000 for being a cornerback last week. He is going to really go.
I know you saw that, right? You saw the play, right?
Yeah.
Like, good Lord. What did he do wrong?
I don't know, man. Tim, listen, I know it's not a popular opinion. I guarantee you'll disagree with me, and that's okay. I'm done making excuses for him. It probably wasn't warranting a flag, but it's like, why does he always have to be in the middle of everything, Tim?
Because that's his role, man. That's our Dennis Rodman. That's our guy.
Yeah, bingo. That's
our guy. That's our guy. He's going to play hard, and he's going to try and take you out of your game mentally.
Yeah,
that's Josh. Sometimes he goes overboard. What I don't like, I'm all for the flag on the field, right? Call it on Sunday. Don't call me on Tuesday and send me a fine.
Yeah,
don't retroactively go back and be like, hey, we didn't like this. That's one thing I do not like about how the league handles a lot of this. I mean, if it's called, like you say, Clayton, right? You see it, you got to say it, right? So if the ref sees it, he's got to flag it. Fine. It is what it is. But man, coming back 2-3 days later, looking at film and going, I didn't like that. I don't know, man. $11,000 is a lot of money, even in this economy.
Yeah, You got that right, man. So again, I'm not a Jair hater. I just every time I look up, I'm like, damn it, Ja, what are you? When they threw the flag for personal foul, I'm like, of course it was Ja. Of course it was Jair Becker.
Things could be a lot worse. I could be a Bears fan.
He's going to come out on fire tomorrow, though. I mean, obviously he absolutely despises Diggs, so I'm with you on that too. Over this, no doubt, man. Holmes MD1 says God favors those who run the football. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. CL Freeman, I'm surprised Cutler didn't get intercepted before the DUI.
Hey, that was down there near Nashville, wasn't it?
Oh, you know it was. Yeah.
Down there in Tennessee there.
Put that on the ticker right there. That's definitely the CL Freeman wins the contest tonight. That's
for sure.
That's the comment of the night right there. That is hilarious.
I'm surprised Cutler didn't decide to just ride the bike rather than drive the car, if you know what I mean. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I do. All right. And then Holmes MD want to end the show with that. This show sucks. Yes, it does. It has sucked for a while, and I don't know why so many people are still sitting in here. But thank y'all for making us part of your evening. We really appreciate it. Special shout out to TC Fan with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. And Godsmack AR69, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are awesome. Tim, help me out here, man.
Tomorrow, let's go. Pre-game. We're going, 10:30 Central?
10:30.
11:30 Eastern?
Got it. 10:30 Central. We'll be going live for the PTA pregame show. And then immediately following the game, we'll be going live for the PTA postgame show, bringing you guys all the news, stats, analysis, all that good stuff from what we hope is going to be another Packer dub, man. They're definitely peaking right now. I'm excited to see them continue to get better. It's going to be a great matchup tomorrow, man. It's going to be a great test, no doubt about it. So,
absolutely.
Help me out here, Tim.
For those of you listening on the pod,
thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. We will see y'all tomorrow morning. Go Pack, go.